Final Fantasy X, this one's hard for me because I have
For me,
I have a couple of characters that I would want to put as my favorite, but it's I think I could narrow it down to either Orin or Waka. I think Orin was like my all time favorite just because he was, even as a kid, like I thought he was just such a cool character. Like the fact that he only uses one arm, but like he's still so powerful, and he seems to know all these secrets that he's alluding to, and he carries around a bottle of booze or rum that like powers him up. Like he's just a very cool character when you learn his backstory, and the fact that he used to be all uptight before and like very religious before he became so cynical. It's just so moving. But I don't know, like part of me wants to choose Waka too, because as goofy as that character is, like I just really appreciate the fact that like he basically was a racist, and like the way they presented it, like he's still a likable character, but once he realized that, well, Riku is Al Bhed, Yuna's Al Bhed, like it's not Al Bhed people I'm mad at, it's the fact that my brother died, and the fact that like when Riku steals Yuna away and like steals all these other sorcerer summoners away, and everyone's pissed at Riku, it's Waka is the one that first like says, no, I understand why you did it. Like that was the moment he starts to turn and say, okay, like maybe not all bad or bad, like he's the one that understands, like, okay, you actually care for Yuna, you were trying to protect her and make sure that she's safe, like I get it, like, and I can kind of appreciate that. But I think Orange just a badass, like he's just I don't know, it's hard to get over that. But how did you feel about the game?
well, ditto about Arn. I mean,
Yeah.
absolute badass. And just that ending scene where he finally goes to the far plane.
Yeah,
I mean, just and with his theme in the back, Arn's
that was cool.
my favorite pieces in Final Fantasy. I
Yeah,
love that theme so much. I can listen to it all day. Um,
I love when he's like about to leave, and like everyone's freaking out that Orin's leaving, and then at the last moment, like Orin just looks over at Titus and just taps on his chest and says, "I'll see you in a little bit," and then like Orin just leaves, and everyone's like, "What?" Like, and it's just like, dude, you just like riled everybody up needlessly, and it was awesome.
yeah, and the way he acts in the story and everything up until the very end, like he had a plan all along. Like he never intended to sacrifice Yuna. Like he had a plan like to the end to
Hmm.
try to get rid of sin for good and everything. Just from everything he's learned from after dying, going to the dreams, Anakin. Um, uh, so that's I mean, just I don't know even what to say. Everything about him is just so awesome. Even to the when you see him in the past, how he interacts with Jet and
Hmm.
Nebraska, like he's like the straight one. Uh, uh, Jack is the more loose cannon, and like Braska is like more the voice of reason. These
Hmm.
type of things. So it works out so well with one another. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's definitely
Well,
best for me.
I think what's I guess I don't want to gush about him more, but I think like what's especially cool about him is he adds so much like replay value to the game, because when you replay it, it's like you can kind of like look at all these interactions he has with characters, and you know everything Orin knows now, and like you can see like all the sly little comments he makes about the structure of the game and the structure of the world. So it's really cool. Who do you dislike the most?
Mm, not
I
anyone in
see.
particular I dislike, but Kamari doesn't really hold a strong relevancy in the story.
Ah,
He's kind of there, and like even his gameplay is like that too. It's just kind of there. Um,
I
he
you
has
know Go
moments
ahead.
where
Yeah.
he's with Byron and Yankee and
Hmm.
proving himself or being like a guardian to Yuna. But besides that, he doesn't have any strong emotional scenes. Like even Riku,
Yeah.
who's kind of like a tag along, has relevancy to the story. Like her father is Sid, and she's the Albed, and she is like she's the conflict with Waka, who Waka has uh, who's prejudiced against the Albed. Uh,
Hmm.
and he learned in him with his interaction with Riku, and learning the truth of Yevon is like kind of made her essential in her own way, looking at things from the Albed perspective. So I think like a character like her is like welcomed. And
Yeah,
that up.
I can understand if somebody were to pick her as their least favorite just because she is kind of silly. Uh, and it's kind of creepy that she's kind of there for sex appeal, but she's like 15. But I mean, her role in the story I think is really important. I can see what you're saying too about Kamari. It's just I don't know. He has that one scene early on in the game where he first meets, or you as the player first meet some of his uh, Ronso, whatever tribe people or whatever, and they're making fun of of Kamari because he has a broken horn and he's small. And they keep like mocking him, and you're just sitting there like, why are you being such an asshole to Kamari? He's a good guy. And then like the prompt just comes up and it says punch him, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna punch him.
Hornless, hornless.
I was just like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted to do. But outside of that, like Kamari doesn't really add much. I see Mike said best FF10 character is clearly Brother. Obviously, he's joking, but Brother is such a ridiculous character.
That's not the rules.
He's pretty ridiculous, though.
I mean, he only wants to get with his cousin. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awkward. Yeah. Hey, Final Fantasy X-2, Brother trying to get together with Yuna or impress her and flirt with her all the time. Brother and Riku are brother and sister, which makes them cousins with Yuna.
Yeah.
So that's a little weird, especially when Yuna already has like a love for Titus. He's like, have you forgotten about Titus yet?
He's like, he's not really a real person.
Yeah, he's technically not real.
But well, Brother is like he embodies my entire feelings about Final Fantasy X-2. Like, look at Brother in Final Fantasy X, he's a little ridiculous, but he's kind of tame. And then you look at Brother in X-2, and you're like, Jesus Christ. Like, this is obnoxious.